Well, here we are, folks. It's the dog days of summer. At this point, all of the major releases have come out. Some have been massive hits. Some have been mediocre. And others have been complete flops. So what do we do now if we want to, go to the cinema, see a film? Well, we do a deep dive, look for things that, might seem interesting that we haven't thought of before. And on that note, we turn our attention to a little film called Talk to Me. Now, I remember seeing the trailer for this before and thinking that, could be something I'd be interested in. It's a horror movie. I do like horror films. So I kept it in the back of my mind. And this past weekend, with a free Saturday night, I grabbed my kids and we decided to go check it out. Now, if you've never heard of this movie, I'm not surprised. Came out last year in Australia. But on July 27th was released worldwide. In the United States, it was released by A24 Studios. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with A24 Studios. Some of their movies are absolutely brilliant. They're scary, they're different, poignant. Others are just too weird for words. I didn't even know this was an A24 film until I was sitting in the theaters and the A24 logo popped up. And I thought, oh boy, here we go. So what do we have here? Is this a horror movie you should consider seeing, or is this one of those weird A24 releases? Well, before we get into all that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for this film. Now, as far as plot goes, this is pretty standard horror movie stuff. You got a group of friends, they discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand. They become hooked on this new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. So, it's your basic possession type thing. Nothing new or original, but you know what? If done right, could be okay. So let's discuss some of the positive aspects of this movie. One is the acting. Now, the only performer I recognize is Miranda Otto. Now, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan like myself, you will know her as Eowyn of Rohan, one of the most badass of all badass female characters in the history of cinema. She plays the mother of the three main characters. The rest of the acting is performed by a cast of Australian actors, none of which I've heard of. In fact, if you go on Wikipedia for this movie, none of these actors have their own Wikipedia page, except Sophia Wilde, who plays Mia, one of the main characters in the film, and she, again, is excellent. Now, this movie is made by the brothers Danny and Michael Philippou. They're Australian YouTubers, no less. This is their first film. I think they do a really good job directing it. They took this pretty basic horror concept, gave it enough scares and thrills and plot twists to keep you interested. Now, on the negative side, well, it really isn't too much negative. The ending gets a little muddled. You're not exactly sure what happens at the very end. I know when we saw it, we had to think about it a little bit, and then we were able to kind of put it together. And like I said earlier, it's not exactly the most groundbreaking of stories. We've seen possession stories thousands of times before. But you know what? It works. It works pretty well. So I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's a really good debut by these two brothers. It doesn't overstay its welcome at 90 minutes long. The performances are solid. They do a good job of moving the story along and keeping the audience intrigued. Now, from what I've read, the brothers intend to do a prequel and a sequel to this. And you know what? I don't mind. I wouldn't mind exploring this world, learning a little bit about what happened before and what's happened after. Could be good. Could be a disaster. Who knows? I will say that judging by the box office returns for this movie, we're definitely going to get other films in this universe. So if you like horror movies and you have a spare hour and a half to kill, nothing else to do, I would recommend seeing this film. Go to the theaters and see it. Why not? If not, you know what? Stream it. Maybe around Halloween. It might be a good, solid horror film to see in that great horror month of October. And, as always, if you like what you heard, click the like button. subscribe, leave a comment. I will answer it. Let me know what you think. And if you didn't like what you heard, well, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for giving me your valuable time. And I'll see you next week. Take care.